All right, just ahead on American Sunrise, President Trump doubling down, wanting to keep the D.C. crime crackdown going for longer than the initial 30 days. Will Congress approve the extension? A hard look just ahead. Plus, President Trump is also doubling down on sending National Guard troops to Chicago to clean up that city. How likely is that? Those details just moments away. And the U.S. and Russia are reportedly working on energy deals aimed at having Russia end the war with Ukraine. Where do these negotiations stand at this point? We have these stories, so much more, as American Sunrise starts right now.
Good morning, America.
Welcome to American Sunrise.
Whether it's culture,
We have breaking news to share with you.
politics,
President Trump is joining us live now from Florida.
we've got you covered.
This is what it looks like to be a patriot.
We have to protect the American family.
The American dream is still alive.
I'm David Brody.
I'm Terrence.
And I'm Dr. Gina. Good morning, everybody. I am Dr. Gina. We are live with you from the Palm Beaches. Let's bring in David Brody. He's in Washington, D.C., and Terrence Bates is in our Denver newsroom. Good morning, gentlemen.
Good morning. Good morning to both of you.
Dr. Gina, David, good morning to both of you. Hey, look, I don't know about you, but I'm already planning my lunch as Cracker Barrel says that it is not going to change its logo after all. A lot of pressure from President Trump, and I'm not even sure you could say it's pressure. President Trump basically came out and said, look, you probably shouldn't do it. Go back to the old logo, Cracker Barrel. You've got an opportunity here. And Cracker Barrel responded and is now not changing that logo. Dr. Gina, we kind of were texting. We all were texting back and forth. And you said you think this is all about Cracker Barrel finding a way to get a little bit of extra media attention, if you will.
Yeah, I don't know, because they did lose a lot of money during the whole thing. Maybe it was literal stupidity. I'm not sure. It's hard for me to believe that someone could be that stupid, that you think that you can take a brand like Cracker Barrel, that literally their entire base appreciates that nostalgic feel, and you're going to take that away from them and strip it down to boring. And you're going to somehow win in that. It doesn't make a lot of sense to me. I think you watch things like what happened with Budweiser and so many others, again, a traditional brand that did a really dumb thing. But, you know, sometimes if Cracker Barrel could kind of say we might do this and then not really do it, and now we go back to being traditional, and now everyone floods back and remembers how much they loved Cracker Barrel and they're so glad it's still there. Does that win for them in the end? Was this a marketing play? I don't know, Brody. What are your thoughts?
I don't know. I mean, you know, hard to prove, obviously, in a test tube. But what you can prove is what happened with the stock market, or their stock, right? I mean, they had 94 million reasons to go back, if you will, and change it back to their original logo. But it shows the power of we the people. You know, I know it's just Cracker Barrel. We're not talking about, you know, things of, you know, life and death, though quite frankly, if, you know, Cracker Barrel's got some great food. But it is we the people. I mean, we spoke up. We were heard, so to speak. So that's good. President Trump coming out also on Truth Social now saying congratulations to Cracker Barrel. Now go make some money is what he said. And then he said make consumers happy again. I guess instead of make America great again, now it's make consumers happy again at Cracker Barrel. So glad it, you know, a nice happy ending.
I'll tell you what, I go in there and I am 5 years old again with my grandparents and my parents still alive. Yeah. And I'm personally really happy, T, that it's back.
No, I'm with you. I'm going to go get some spiced apples later on today. That's my favorite thing there at Cracker Barrel. And I'm just going to say this. I hadn't really thought about Cracker Barrel much. There aren't many here in the Denver area. And I hadn't just really thought about it until this controversy came up. And I was like, oh, yeah, Cracker Barrel. So just in terms of bringing it back to the consciousness of people who may not have frequented the restaurant, you know, it was probably a good thing for them. And hopefully they're going to be able to turn this all around and ultimately become profitable or more profitable again. Anyway, Dr. Gina, would you get us our Bible verse, please?
There is not a doubt they're going to turn this around and be profitable. Probably more than before. All right, Psalm 63, verse 7 and 8. Because you have been my help, therefore in the shadow of your wings I will rejoice. My soul follows close behind you. Your right hand upholds me. A verse about protection. that we should not forget. I like that one. I'm not sure I'm super familiar with it, but I like it. President Trump saying once again he wants to extend the D.C. crime crackdown longer than the initial 30 days. Take a listen.
We want to stay there for longer than 30 days. As you know, we have an absolute mandate, and I can extend it, but I'd rather not have to declare a national emergency because by that time, I mean, right now there's not an emergency. We've done, as you sort of said yourself, it feels like a different world. We've got under arrest and prosecution, and we've thrown out, taken some, and we're in the process of taking hundreds out of our country that shouldn't be here. And these are hardcore professional criminals. They were born to be criminals, in my opinion, but they're seriously bad people. Murderers, drug dealers, you know them all. You see them all as you walk beautifully to work, and every once in a while somebody puts a gun to your head, because that's what happened in your case. We're getting a lot of them out of the country. We're putting a lot of them in prison because we're afraid to bring them out of the country. They could come back. You know, as good as we're doing, they could come back. We don't want them back.
For more, let's bring in GOP strategist, host of the 13-minute News Hour, Bobby Eberle. Bobby, you know, this was a Epoch Times, Iris, David Brody was pointing out to me. She was a reporter who was actually accosted in Washington, D.C., and survived, of course, and was there with her beautiful smile to tell us about it. This, though, is something that really strikes a chord. And what's interesting about this is it strikes a chord even with those who might ordinarily oppose Trump doing this. Because those reporters, they're out there walking those streets every night. They know it's happened to people that they know. And that might make a little bit of difference, no?
That's right. I mean, when this first started going down with President Trump announcing that this takeover, bringing in the National Guard, the knee-jerk reaction of the media, I think, wanted to be to condemn it. Mm-hmm. But then they start talking to their reporters, their anchors, and they're saying, well, you know what? I got robbed. You know, I know a friend that got mugged. And it's very real. It brings it home. People were talking about not being able to walk the streets after 8 p.m., you know, just to go back for the restaurant or go down to a store. So this is very real, and crime affects Republicans and Democrats. And so it's hard to just denounce it, even with a big old degree of Trump derangement syndrome. You know, they see the reality and they see what's happened in just these couple weeks. And it's real. Any of these reports from people on the street where the Democrats are trying to do an angle saying, hey, we don't want this, it's authoritarian. People love it. They love the safer streets. They notice the difference already, and the stats are proving it.
No doubt about that. Hey, Bobby, David Brody here. Listen, so here, before I get to the question, can I just make a statement about Trump's cabinet meeting yesterday? 3 hours and 14 minutes with the cameras rolling the entire time. I've decided that Netflix should really do a limited series on this and just call it. They should call it The Cabinet, I've decided. And like,
hey,
this
like
could
that.
be season 2, because it's term 2, season 2, and this was the 7th cabinet meeting. So season 2, episode 7, kind of like let it rip. I mean, I literally, I think they could do something. They make a lot of money that way. Let me get to another part of this 3 hour and 14-minute extravaganza. President Trump touched on Illinois, and then he had this to say about potentially sending National Guard troops to Chicago. Take a look, Bobby.
So I would have much more respect for Pritzker if he'd call me up and say, I have a problem. Can you help me fix it? I would be so happy to do it. I don't love, not that I don't have the right to do anything I want to do. I'm the president of the United States. If I think our country's in danger, and it is in danger in these cities, I can do it. No problem going in and solving, you know, his difficulties. But it would be nice if they'd call and they'd say, would you do it?
Actually, the one thing that caught my attention in that soundbite was when Trump said, I'm the president of the United States, I can do whatever I want to do. I feel like liberals just literally smelling salts needed to be handed out to them at that point. But you know, they always take him literally rather than figuratively, and they don't understand what he's trying to say, which is that, yeah, he's got power to do things that presidents haven't done before, and he's willing to break the norms here, Bobby.
Well, yeah, and that was the point I was going to make, is that, like, embedded in everything Trump says from a policy perspective, I think is like trolling, just embedded trolling, knowing how to trigger the Dems, knowing how to trigger the media and the left. And so as he's talking about reducing crime, you know, Pritzker's head's exploding, Brandon Johnson's head's exploding. But these guys that refuse to address it. It is the classic 80-20 issue, or even greater, of people wanting to be safe, wanting to walk their neighborhoods, wanting to be out with family. And the Democrats oppose it at every turn. They let bad guys out on the street. Brendan Johnson did an interview on MSNBC where he was asked directly, hey, will 5,000 extra cops on your street help? He couldn't answer. He wouldn't answer the question because he wants to push all these social programs and ways to be lenient and not enforce the laws. He couldn't answer the question, and that's why the president has to step in to make our streets safer.
Hey, Bobby, really quickly, I want to go back to that cabinet meeting, 3 hours. I'm calling it revolutionary. I can't remember an administration that we've seen in which people have had this sort of access to cabinet members, especially for 3 hours. I'd love put this into perspective for us. How, again, revolutionary. That's the best word I can think of. This is.
Well, right. I mean, in this short term, he's already had, 7 or 9 of these cabinet meetings, bringing people together. They're talking business. They're addressing all the issues. They're open to the press. I mean, the president is there just freestyling it and going for it. And you know what? It's informative. It's direct to the media, but it also has a lot of humor to it, too. I mean, Marco Rubio was joking yesterday about the 4 jobs he's going to celebrate for this coming Labor Day. So it really opens up to the fact that these are people, they care about the country, and they want to move us in a right direction. And it's unified under the leadership of President Trump. Everyone is on the same page. And you see this level of competency that if you compare it with Biden's cabinet, it's just like night and day, but you didn't get to see them. You get to see these people in action with the president, and I love it.
And by the way, let me just quickly say, I love how President Trump ended the cabinet meeting where he said, look, we're giving you guys open access here. This has never been done before, which is true. And then he said, because we're an open government and we're an open administration and we want you to see it. And that is phenomenal. Gina, please.
Yes.
Yeah, I thought that was great.
Yeah, absolutely, Bobby. We could take more time singing the praises of transparency because we all love it. I'd love to see it in medicine. I'd love to see it with hospitals. I'd love to see it with veterinary medicine. There are a lot of other places we could hope it is contagious. Bobby Everly, thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Thanks, Bobby.
Coming up, we check out the hottest headlines from the Wrap newsroom with T. Bates. And later, President Trump says the end of the war between Israel and Hamas could be coming soon. How likely is that? We're going to dissect just ahead here on American Sunrise.